you see one in the sky, if you see one manifest before your very eyes, if you see a strange creature looking outside, then tell it on accounts of the paranormal. Hear it on accounts of the paranormal. Welcome to accounts of the paranormal.
Welcome to the show. Tonight, I speak with Larry, who comes to us from New York, sharing accounts from his near 19-year journey into the world of paranormal investigations, including the notably active Rose Union Community Building, to personal experiences within his own home, where spirits, physical interactions, and the presence of a ghost cat are all too common. Larry, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. You have got a lot of interesting things to talk about. I was excited when I read your email. You got about 18 years, it looks like, of investigating the paranormal, which is super interesting. Is actually the home you live in. I'm looking forward to hearing about that. And you got some activity going on there. It sounds like some poltergeist activity. And a place that you investigate regularly, Rose Union Community Building. It was previously an elementary school. A lot of action going on there. So I look forward to hearing about this stuff. But, what I like to do is I like to go back and ask my guests what kind of started it all for them.
I didn't believe in ghosts for the longest time, and what ended up happening is I started watching Ghost Hunters. Now, Jason and I know each other. The story with Jason and I is that we were born in the same hospital in Canandaigua, New York. But we talked about that because he grew up in the area. So, and when he sees me, he remembers me and says hello.
So you weren't interested until you started watching Ghost Hunters. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but this is the funny part. Do you remember the episode with Valentine? The story goes is that the first part of that episode was at a house in Canandaigua, New York. And Taps had done it because it involved a child. So I knew the lady that lived there. And we ran into each other at the grocery store one day, and she goes to me, Larry, she says, we're doing a ghost hunt at my house on Saturday night. Do you want to come and watch? Well, what am I going to say? Of course, I ended up joining that group, and they were a TAPS family member, the Center for Paranormal Investigation Association. So that's what started me in the paranormal.
Oh, so the Ghost Hunters went to her home. You were invited by her.
Yes.
And that's how you kind of got into it and probably met the guys at that time.
I knew her outside of that. So her and I had talked about it all the time because she swore her house was haunted. And she was able to get the Ghost Hunters to go there.
And then where did it go from there with you as far as you and the paranormal?
CPIA, oh my God, they were a wonderful team. They don't exist anymore because he moved to New York City and became a videographer, but he ran the group, and I learned so much from them people. Holy cow, they knew exactly what they were doing. I joined groups briefly here and there, but for 8 years straight, from 2008 to 2016, I was a tour guide at the historic Palmyra buildings, the museums there in Palmyra. Very famous haunted area. Kindred Spirits did a show there. And they've been on my ghost story, and it's amazing. But I had the very good pleasure of being able to work there for 8 years. It was very enlightening.
And while you worked there, did you experience anything personally?
Oh, God, yes. I brought my daughter one night. I got a bunch of people together to go ghost hunting, and my daughter was wearing these thigh-high boots and a skirt, and she comes like that to a ghost hunt, which is like, what? But she got called a knacker. She's nothing but a knacker. It's an EVP we captured in Palmyra. So everybody's sitting there, what the hell is that? It's an old English term for hooker. And then I had the it was a different time. I invited my sister along, and they didn't. You always had to ask the group that was there that actually booked the place. It was okay if you brought somebody, and generally I never got told no. So I brought my sister this one time, and the one thing that she got there that was actually on Kindred Spirits was she captured a voice of a bunch of kids singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That was unbelievable.
Oh, absolutely. What about shadows and apparitions, anything like that you witnessed yourself?
You'd almost always see shadows. I could sit in this one spot in the hallway while everybody's milling around, and I'm just sitting there watching these shadows dart back and forth, going down the stairs, coming up the stairs. And so the spot I was actually looking at was a landing for the stairs.
So your time at the museum, when that came to an end, where did the investigating go for you from there?
That's a good question. He's a friend of mine named Jay Gridley, very charismatic gentleman, started forming a group right about then. And so I ended up being with him. Basically, the group finally broke up in 2025. But from like 2016 to 2025, I actually was part of Jay's group. So I got some time in doing that.
And what happened during that time? Anything stand out?
Oh, yeah. When we started going to Rose, that's when it really sunk in that we were on to something special.
Yeah, Rose Union Community Building. It was previously an elementary school. Tell me about your first time there, what that was like, and then about all the experiences since then.
Okay, well, when we first went there on a whim, okay? I drove by the place, and it looks like a school. There's no indication. It's actually a community center. But there was no indication that anything was going around, so I thought it was like a museum, which piqued my interest. And then I said, I talked to my friend Mel, who's also in the group, who lives in that town, and she's like, well, it took us forever to find out who ran it. And then we had to get permission of the board to do it, because we had to come across, we didn't want to come across like a bunch of wackos. So we really had to talk to them, and they said, well, yeah, sure, we'll try it. We'll see what goes on. And so they let us do that. And I remember the first EVP I got was a distinct whistle. And I said to everybody, I go, yeah, there is somebody here. My God, we didn't have any idea, because we honestly thought that we weren't going to get anything. And it is now, I consider it the most active place I've ever been in my life. Because now that you know what to look for, and you've been experiencing it so long, that nothing comes as a surprise anymore. I mean, we do overnights there, and the action never stops, and never stops.
Yeah, you mentioned numerous encounters there, including black masses, shadows, doors opening by themselves, cameras moving.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of those that really stood out to you.
Okay, the last one that we got the biggest charge out of was the door. There's a door there that opens by itself. So we were doing a spirit box session in the hallway, and all of a sudden you just hear this door latch go. And Jay and I look at each other, and we're like, he goes, go check that out. We go down there and the door's open. The door was closed. So I close the door, and then he yells down, he goes, "Put a camera there." Sure enough, don't we capture that door opening? We got that on film.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And you actually see the door latch turn too.
Have you, any of these captures, did you guys, anybody in the group ever post any of these to share?
No, once the group broke up, we don't have a website anymore. So I put them up on Facebook. What I do is I'm running the evidence on my 55-inch TV. So if I capture something, what I'll do is I'll take a video of the TV playing and leave it like at 20 seconds and then, post it on Facebook. I don't have any formal. There's only one we did that we captured an apparition of a lady, and Mel and I were at my house here, and let me tell you something, 55-inch TVs kind of take the sting out of reviewing evidence. It just is much better. I don't know why, but it is. And we were watching that, and all of a sudden I looked and I go, we were in the basement of Rose. I go, play that back. I go, that was an apparition. And so we played it back frame by frame. There's the lady standing there in the basement. And the next frame, she's gone.
And how clear was this?
Oh, pretty clear. You could see right through her. You could see the arms, the head. She was wearing a dark, she was wearing a white blouse with dark skirt. Plain as day. She couldn't have been 20 feet from us. And of course, being that dark, you don't see it. I did not see her through the viewfinder of the camera. But we captured that. That's spectacular, really.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Would love to see any of that stuff that you might have from that time there. What other standout sightings or captures from Rose Union?
Oh, I'm going to mention her name because she's absolutely a doll. Her name's Shirley. Shirley was with us the first 4 years that we were going to Rose. She's the one who opened up the building and closed the building at night, or we would drop off the keys to her the next morning if we were doing an overnight. They basically let us have run of the building. So her and I were walking from the auditorium back out in the hall, and there's a little tiny hallway that has a wooden wall on the left and the stairs to the basement on the right. Shirley and I are walking side by side, entering that area, and this shadow just passes literally right in front of us and goes down the basement stairs. He came right out of the wall. But that wasn't captured on film. That's just a personal experience. It caught her completely off guard. I felt so bad for her. She started getting nervous later on about going through the building alone, just in case that happened again. So we always did the walkthroughs together. One thing you do there is you turn on your recorder immediately upon entering the building. That's when you capture a lot of EVPs. And generally, there's a couple of them there that are not there to greet us warmly. Let's put it that way.
And you still investigate this building regularly, or?
Yeah, it's on hiatus right now because of the weather.
I was going to ask if you're aware if any other paranormal groups have investigated that building.
Yeah, I'm real good friends. Have you ever heard of the East Coast Spirit Chasers?
It's not ringing the bell.
Okay. Well, they're out of New Jersey. But I became friends with Nick. He's the leader of the group. I met him at Palmyra, and we stayed friends all those years. Well, this team travels extensively. They do documentaries. They got their own YouTube channel, that kind of thing. Well, every once in a while, they'll invite us. I'm like a per diem member of the team. I mean, they gave me my own T-shirt, which I wear obviously when I'm with them. But we go all over the place. I've been down to, like I said, Radford, Virginia with them. At St. Albans, we've done Hillview Manor. We've done Waverly Hills. We've done Bobby Mackey's with this group. And every once in a while they come to New York, but they were the only group that ever investigated at Rose. And it was wild that night. They were getting names of people on the spirit box. Oh, Nick, by the way, builds his own equipment too, so he's got the best of everything, $3,000 cameras and stuff. I really applaud those guys. But getting back to it, names came up on the spirit box that night they were there. If you look at this hallway, it's all lined with people's pictures and classes of the different years and stuff. He found 3 different people's names based on what they told him on the spirit box. I said it's the most insane place I've ever been. It's crazy active.
You guys investigated some really popular places too, and you mentioned Bobby Mackey's, and I certainly know about that one. And did that place get torn down, if I remember correct?
Yeah, it was torn. Yeah, it was torn down. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Boy, that place had some activity.
Yeah, it did. This is in 19 years of investigating. That's the one place, even if it was still standing, I would never go back to.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
That place was dark.
Yeah, it was not pleasant. That's for sure.
No, I did not have I had a awful vibe the whole night I was there. That was insane.
Yeah, I don't like to, go to the evil thing easily. But that place, if there's one place that is just notoriously haunted by some kind of evil entity, it was Bobby Mackey's for sure. When you hear of all the investigators who went there, and they all said the same thing. They all had the similar type of experiences that were just negative, period.
Yeah. Well, what happened at Bobby Mackey's that turned me off so much to the place is, like I said, I was with the East Coast Spirit Chasers that night. And we were up in Carl's apartment, and she got attacked by a spirit, where she went right down in a heap. This was not normal for this person. It shocked everybody, and I had set up a static camera, and it was like watching the whole room. So I actually, and with my audio recorder going, which I forgot to turn both of them off, or at least turn them out of the way, but it captured the whole incident that happened.
What exactly happened?
She went and she grabbed her throat, was heaving and trying to catch her breath. Someone grabbed her, I don't know where it came from, but there was a garbage can there. And she ended up getting sick in the garbage can, and then she was still heaving for breath and stuff like that, and she couldn't stand up. They had to stand her up. And if you saw the stairs to Carl's apartment, getting her down those stairs was no easy feat. They're very narrow and steep, and there's a lot of them. So they got her outside, and she was fine.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me coming from that place. Not at all.
Yeah, that was one place I'd never go back to. I was at St. Albans last year, and I can't wait to go back to St. Albans. That place was off the charts too.
What have you captured there?
We captured a lot of EVPs. REM pods were going crazy. I didn't see them. Shadows were seen, because when I go with those guys, I generally will be filming for them, because I do videography and stuff like that. So I film for them. That's why you'll never see me in a YouTube episode. It's me filming. You might hear my name, but well, anyways, what was so great was we were in the bowling alley. He has a dark entity down there. Well, it attacked Terry this time from the East Coast Spirit Chasers. And Nick and I were live. I just didn't happen to have a camera in my hand at the time. And when that went down, he handed me the phone and said, "We're live right now." And we actually, I ran with him, and the whole thing was went live from what happened. So that was very weird.
Let's talk about your home. I'm interested to dig into that. Let me know what's going on there.
The last time I did an EVP session, remember I told you earlier that I'll never do one at this house again? Well, we did an EVP session here. I was living with somebody at the time, and she was very much into the paranormal. And I said to her, I go, this is a haunted house and I can prove it. Did an EVP session, and I got a woman telling me to grow up.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that, yep. So I know who that is. I know who both of my spirits are.
Who are they, and how did you find out who they were?
Oh, Mary Jane and Kevin is their names. Mary Jane died in the house. I bought the house from her estate. She had fallen and hit her head, and they found her 3 or 4 days later. So I know she's definitely here. And I want to talk for a second about the Phelps Hotel, which was down in Ontario County, which basically 15 minutes from me. One of the most haunted places I've ever been. Well, what happened is it was going under new ownership. So I was told that if I wanted anything, I could take whatever I wanted, because the new people were just going to throw it out anyways. There's a serving table I got in my living room, okay? Serving table, we were doing a public investigation there, and Kevin had committed suicide. But Kevin also collected wooden ships. So I took a wooden ship and I put it on the serving table along with a K2 and a millimeter. And in front of 15 people, those pieces of equipment got slapped right off the table. So he says, how about that? So I kept the table. And I brought Kevin with me.
Okay, so that's how you know Kevin is there.
Yeah, well, we did extensive research on the building. I mean, the girl that did it did a wonderful job. There was 7 suicides there. One guy got shot in the face. A little boy got killed out in front of the building, and he was still alive when they brought him in. His father was the manager. But that table brought me some, because Kevin's is one of the ones that doesn't like me. So he's done stuff. The most radical thing he ever did was I was working. I'm a nurse by trade, and of course nursing hours are long anyways. So I got up, probably it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had my coffee in my hand. I was going to sit down in the living room before I got dressed, and somebody slapped me right in the back of the head and sent my coffee flying.
Yeah, you had mentioned to me that part of the activity that goes on in your home are actual physical assaults.
Yeah, they have been, yes. I've been poked in the ass 3 times when I'm sound asleep. I got slapped on the arm one day when I was sound asleep, and all 3 of these things woke me up out of a sound sleep, because when I'm talking about getting jabbed in the ass cheek, I got jabbed in the ass cheek. And there was nobody there but me. I live alone basically right now. So there's that, and then there's the poltergeist activity where I almost got hit with the paddle I got behind my chair. Almost hit me in the arm. Been almost hit in the head by a mag flashlight, the ones the cops use.
Oh yeah, those are big and heavy. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, it's sitting on top of my thing, and it flew off. It flew off the top of the refrigerator one time and almost hit me in the head. Yeah, and it's happened to other stuff too. Other people have experienced stuff like that too when they've stayed.
How long have you been there? How long has this all been going on?
17 years.
Did the activity start right out the gate?
No, because back then I was kind of new to the place, and I knew about Mary Jane, obviously. Little parallel story with her. I'm a nurse, right? I took care of her 10 years earlier when she had leukemia and she beat it. And here I was buying her house. She was there for 6 months, so she was like my mother. And then to find out that happened or just broke my heart, but she's here. Most of the activity takes place in my kitchen. I mean, not to say it doesn't take place everywhere else too, obviously, but most of the stuff you hear at night coming out of the kitchen. So we put a camera there one time, Karen and I did, and we were shooting into the kitchen, and I caught two heads peeking in the window and a bunch of lights going off outside the window. And then the camera shifted, and then it went dead.
So you said the activity didn't start right away. How soon or
No.
how long after you moved in did activity start? And was there any particular event or anything that you think or you believe might have helped bring that on?
I have I forgot to tell you, I also have a ghost cat. And the ghost cat is an apparition, and it appears every now and then, and many, many people have seen it. Because they'll comment on me, something just darted right in front of me, Larry. And I said, oh, that's just Oscar the cat. So we give him a name too. But Oscar was the first time to validate that it's a cat. A lady and I went on a walk, and we left a recorder running, and we caught a bunch of meows going on. So we picked, in an hour and a half, we picked up 2 meows, and then I first of all heard a woman talking too. Hello. Just like that.
I wonder if this cat maybe belonged to Mary Jane. Do you know, or you know where this cat might have come from?
She was a cat hoarder, yes.
Interesting. Yeah, that's my first ghost animal report by someone. That's really cool.
Oh, there's ghost cats in historic Palmyra too. They actually have a picture of an orange cat taken at the bottom of a step that looks absolutely real, and it's an apparition.
The meows on that recorder, did they sound like they were really close?
Yes. Yeah, I keep my recorders on my coffee table when I'm doing it. And you'd be surprised how close the spirits get to you. People don't realize that these folks that are no longer living will stand right next to you, and you have no idea. But then when you hear the recorder going, God, someone was just standing right next to me. Can you hear how loud that is? And we've gotten numerous reports about that from Rose, where people will actually hear someone standing right next to them and they don't realize they're there. But I do get disembodied voices here too. It's never been the guy. It's always been Mary Jane. Larry, come here. I love you, Larry. You get stuff like that. But then she turned around and told me to grow up. So maybe I was doing something wrong. They kind of got her mad at me.
You're fairly sure it's Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Is it the voice? How are you certain who this is?
Like I said, I've never seen an apparition in this house except for Oscar. But that doesn't mean that other people haven't. And when they describe Mary Jane, there's 2 people. My stepdaughter that used to live here saw her hovering over the bed one time. And another, when I had this place up for rent, the lady saw her coming up the stairs when she was going down the stairs. And then Mary Jane just vanished. But, and she reported to me that she saw an apparition. I did not ask her. And they both described the same person to the T. I knew it was her because she's small, frail looking, petite, wears her hair in a bun, and generally would walk around wearing pajamas. And that's how clear these accounts were. I know it's her.
Yeah, I was going to ask if anyone else had ever seen anything in that home, and you just answered that question.
Yeah.
So they're describing 100%.
I just know it's her from the description. And nobody else knows about. I don't talk a whole lot about my house being haunted, but because sometimes, honestly, it's just a pain in the ass when you're getting woken up at 3:00 in the morning by someone knocking on the front door. That happens a lot. It's gotten to the point where I just ignore it now. I look at the time, and that man, I think it's the man doing it. That man is absolutely precise. If you hear 3 knocks on the door, I'm betting it's 3 a.m. because that's when he does it.
How old is this home?
1957.
What was the last activity you experienced there? How recent?
Oh, just the other night. It was like a couple of nights ago. I'm sitting there laying in bed, and all of a sudden, doesn't somebody sit on the end of the bed? Now, you might think that I'm absolutely off my rocker, but I have a bed that is 3 drawers on either side of it and 2 drawers at the bottom of the bed that they pull out, and you can put clothes in them and shut them. Okay, so they're kind of rattle a little bit. I'm laying in bed perfectly quiet, not moving, and all of a sudden someone sits on the bed, and you could actually hear the drawer move. And then they got up, and they moved the drawer again when they got up.
Did you feel like an impression when they sat on the bed?
Yeah, because when they did it, it was right next to my feet. Like I said, you get all kinds of weird stuff going on here. I'm not even describing half of it. I'm just trying to give you a kind of a broad overview of it.
Yeah, no. Sounds like there's a lot going on. So as far as you're investigating, what do you have planned? Anything in particular you have planned coming up that you're really excited about looking into, or anything recently that you have done? What's going on as far as that?
We got a bunch of teams that want to go to Rose. I just joined a team called NEPI, NEPI. They had a thing on Facebook looking for documentarians and stuff. They're doing a documentary. So they wanted people, that have camera experience. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? They're in Western New York. I'm retired. So why not? So I sent them an interest that I was interested in it. And they sent me back an email saying that we reviewed all your Facebook profile and everything. And not only can you do the documentary, but we're also going to invite you to join our team. So now I got a new team.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And these guys do YouTube and documentaries and stuff. So I'll be filming with them this time. Because that's one of my I've learned over the years that they used to call me the king of EVPs, or my nickname used to be Headphones Larry. But now I do just as much video, and if you're really applying yourself and paying attention to what you're doing, because in the paranormal world, at any time, anything can happen. So you got to be prepared for it. And I've gotten to that mindset that I know exactly what I'm looking for. And, but some of the people, some of the best evidence we've captured over there was captured on cell phones.
Yeah, no, what you just said, it can happen anytime, anywhere. Earlier, you mentioned turn your recorder on the second you walk in the building, and that's exactly.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly why.
Yeah.
You just never know; it's just going to happen.
Oh, they are very vocal at Rose during the walkthroughs. If you want to get some good evidence, they're not gonna. They know me. Believe me, they know me. So they're not going to have anything good to say, and it might happen on the walkthrough. It's happened when I've gone out to smoke cigarettes before there, so it was outside. We one night there was a bunch of us in there, and these were new investigators, so I was, trying to show them the ropes a little bit and stuff. And I said, the one place we never investigated at Rose was the men's bathroom. We actually captured a disembodied voice telling us to go. I heard it myself. Another guy heard it, but we couldn't make out what it said, but the recorder caught it. But I'm getting smarter, and I'm working smarter, not harder. They got these new game cameras out that are cellular, okay? They're I bought two of them, and they obviously motion sets them off, and they're infrared, and so the reason I bought them is they send notifications to your phone in real time. So if something happens, you're going to know about it pretty much the same time it happens. That's going to be a huge amount of stuff that we don't have to go through. I mean, it's not going to catch everything, so it's not a catch-all, okay? Believe me, I still got my cameras that I'm going to be using at all times. And this is when you see most of the stuff, is when you're looking through the viewfinder, because everything else is pitch black. So that's when you capture stuff like black masses and stuff. Is when you're looking for, when you're looking through the viewfinder and you can see clearly, and the cameras I got are very, very good quality. So you want that good quality because that really, shows up really well. And not only that, but like I told you, most of the best evidence we've gotten there has been on cell phones. Black masses. Someone's doing video down in the basement, and they capture a black mass, and it appears 1 minute and then it vanishes the next, and it's amazing how it does it. Amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to ask what your favorite piece of equipment is.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. That's an easy one. RCA, digital voice recorder, model 5330. I have used the same. Matter of fact, I probably got 10 of them left because I bought them all off eBay. Brand new. They're 800 hours. The sound in them is incredibly clear, and they're incredibly easy to use. Because when you hear something, you know this. So I'm preaching to the choir. You know this, that when you hear something on a recorder, you don't always pick it up the first time. So what you have to do is you have to it might take 45 minutes to do 15 minutes of audio. And that's the reality of it. So you got to be really dedicated to what you're doing.
That's for sure. That's probably a lot of investigators' favorite tool is that voice recorder.
Yeah. We got two kids at Rose. It's really sad. We know their names, believe it or not. I can tell you that much. You got David and you got Haley. David's about 5 or 6 years old, and Haley's probably about 8 years old. And we were able to, those kids, it's really sad because a lot of times they'll say, "Help me." You'll hear that on a recorder, and it's all over the building. So it's not just in one spot that they do that. But that's what Donna was going to tell you is her most notable moment at Rose was when a kid said her name on the recorder. Was not a voice spirit box.
For some reason, just hearing about ghost children, that's always tough. And episode 13, Poltergeist and Playmates, boy, that really touches on ghost children. But yeah, and I'm sorry Donna couldn't make it. For the listeners, Donna is Larry's lead investigator, and she's had some experiences at Rose, and she builds their equipment, so she's really handy. I'm sorry she couldn't make it to the call here to talk about what she's experienced.
Oh yeah, she's got some stories because the one good thing is when I'm telling you you have a lead investigator, this is somebody that can go on their own and lead people and do exactly what they need to do. And she picked all that up in 6 months. See, I don't work with her because if we're at Rose and we're doing a public investigation of 10 people, she takes 5 of them and I take 5 of them. And so she's very good at working with people and stuff, and she captures tons of evidence on her equipment and stuff like that too. But it was me that captured the one that said Donna. That was my recorder that said that.
You're going to have some investigations coming up, and I'm sure you're going to be building up some evidence. So maybe we'll have you back, and then maybe Donna can come on.
Absolutely.
At that time.
I've had nothing but fun today. No, this time you'll actually, I'll keep in contact with you, and as I come across it, I'll send you some of the evidence that we've captured, and it's pretty spectacular. Your jaw's going to drop when you see some of this stuff.
No, I look so forward to it for sure. And like I said, to hear from Donna too about what she's experienced and what might be coming up.
I'll have her back. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
We won't make that mistake again.
Yeah. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, Larry, I thank you for coming on and sharing what you've experienced and
no problem.
What's going on in your home and all that. Stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Stay warm. Be careful. I know you got a storm barreling down toward you. So, keep safe and warm. And I definitely look forward to what's coming for you and hearing from you again. But thank you for coming on.
Yeah, just all you got to do is contact me. You got my email address.
Yeah, and you got mine, so let's stay in touch. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Thank you for listening. I appreciate you being here. If you have an account to share and would like to be on the show, email me at show@accountsoftheparanormal.com and tell me what you saw. You can catch this show wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as our website, accountsoftheparanormal.com, where you can access full episodes and links to all our socials and our YouTube channel, where you can listen and watch along with visual images. And if you're a fan of what you heard here, please like, share, follow, subscribe. I appreciate the support. I'll see you next time.